Thank you. I'm Pablo, engine manager at Viaplay. I really appreciate that the organization to give me that opportunity to come here. I come from Barcelona. When I see the agenda and see that my talk was just before the lunch, I changed my mind completely. I didn't prefer don't go deep in really hard thoughts, really hard concepts, and prefer to move for something that is really on the purpose of Viaplay, that is telling stories, touching lives, and expanding worlds. Today I'm here for tell you a story. And I will start with that photo, that photography. Kuwait, 2021, 1991, the Gulf War. You could see it's a really amazing composition with the fire, the weather, the firefighter here in the first term, and how really deep or hard is to get something that is on fire, and then you are the person that is in charge for that, to manage that. But today I don't want to talk for something a bit different. I want to talk about the author of that photography and what happened to him. This is Sebastião Salgado. He's a Brazilian photojournalist, in my opinion, one of the best of the last 15 years. He was involved in several wars, disasters, taking photographies, telling stories about what happened there. But one of the most impacted him was the Rwanda genocide in 1994. That really impacted him in the way that he felt that he was dying for that. The impact, the damage that caused to him, she feels sick. She feels sick. She feels that he's not able to continue doing that. That the last 30 years, more than 100 countries, more than 100,000 photographers, and he preferred to stop and going back to the basics. He was born in Minas Gerais, it's a region in the south of Brazil. As you could think, is something like that. It's a rainforest. He remembered that place like last and lively forest, and he wanted to come to his family has a farm there, and he expected to be there and then recharge with the nature, you know. But what he found was that the land place, the land undergoing in a drastic transformation. Only 0.5% of the land was covered by trees, and all the wildlife disappeared of the zone. For sure, this is not something that happened from one day to another. This is like a toxic culture, as Brigitte here say. Toxic culture is the result of many factors, but it's generally a combination of poor leadership and individuals who perpetuate the bad culture for so many times. And also Brigitte said that there is 5 smells that are the most important to check if you are in a toxic culture. Only one of them is enough for considering a toxic culture, but you have the 5 is completely bad, really bad culture. First, Brigitte mentioned the company core values are not served at the basis of the organization functions. The core values should be the compass that guide all the decisions in the company. If the decisions are not following that values, then or is internal marketing or even bros is corporate bullshit, you know. Second thing, employee suggestions are discarded. Only a few people in the company has the power to decide things. The feedback from others are discarded and not taking account. Micromanaging, don't give autonomy to people working in the company. blaming and punishment as normal of the management, and for sure, no interaction between employees and top management. There are the smells that Brigitte said, like that defined a toxic culture, you know. And what happened with you are working at toxic culture? Well, your corporate, your company has that kind of a culture that Phil Cook say that the culture is eventually more important than vision, because only they are able to create a great vision, mission, and all that statement that all love to create. But if they maybe create is a hard word, but they allow a toxic culture in the company, that vision will never happen. In a company that is disaligned with the values of the company, with the behavior of the company, and where people are not listened, eventually the people will stop to talk, and then will be a place where no one have nothing to say. But we are not here today for thinking about the bad things, and that is not allowed to change. Is not really. It's not the point of my talk today. I also want to come back to Sebastián and present the second person in the story. That is Leila, is Sebastián's wife. As Leila saw how Sebastián was devastated by the context, the moment, the land that they found, she decides to, okay, we have to take some action. And the action was to start to replant the forest. 3 by 3, day by day, they plant 7 million of trees in 20 years. And that, for doing that, for sure, we could consider that a company is like a tree, or is like a forest. Okay, in a forest you could see the trunk, the branch, the leaves. That is the structure that we are able to see in a company. And this is eternal, is visible, is easy to change, because it's something that you could write, you could set new values, you could, okay, this is not our values anymore, this is our values now, this is not policies anymore, this is our values now. But we have to think that underground in that case, we have the other things that are the real culture of the company. This internal is invisible, it's really, really hard to change. It's what is the history of the company, what is okay, not okay, and for what, for whom is okay or not okay to have that behavior, because sometimes it's different if the person is on the top management or not. In the internal leadership relationship, what is rewarded, and so on. For change that real culture, you need courage. You need to think that change a company culture is really, really, really hard. For Sebastián and Leila took more than 20 years to change that landscape. You also need generosity. You need to change the typical blaming, fear, psychological danger to psychological safety. You need to give people the opportunity to make mistakes, and don't blame for that. And also you need to act globally. John Seddon, one of the system thinking advocates, said that people behavior is a product of the system. When you change the system, people's behavior changes. But Craig Larman set up corollary to that is like in large established organizations, the culture follows the structure, but in small ones, the structure follows the culture. It's easier to change the culture in a small organization. It's harder to change in a large established organization. But if we are able to do it, the change make the difference. And when Leila and Sebastián made that change, they are able to create a context environment for coming back 170 72 species of birds, 33 types of mammals, 15 species of amphibians and reptiles. When you act and are able to do that change, you're not only impacting the today, you're impacting the tomorrow and the future of the company. Thanks.